Hello everybody and welcome back to some more NASCAR Heat 5 Custom Championship season without the playoffs, where today we're heading over to Michigan, which hopefully is going to be a better track for us than Pocono, but I have my doubts just because, like I've said before in previous episodes, our car really seems to struggle on top speed, and Michigan is basically all about that, especially with the new package, where you basically just don't ever lift. So we're going to see what we can do. We've definitely been struggling. We're down to 7th in the points, despite this weird thing on the left saying I'm in 3rd because it thinks there's a playoffs, even though there isn't. But let's go ahead and get started. So I didn't really bother showing qualifying just because I didn't think we would do anything special this time. And just to confirm that, 33rd, even worse. But I mean, at that point, that's just kind of what I expect in this game when it comes to qualifying, is it makes no sense. But looking at the qualifying results, we can see that we're right next to our teammate, Bubba Wallace Jr. And then the pole sitter for this race, Kyle Busch. Oh boy. This game definitely at this point has committed to either Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin winning the championship, which is kind of funny considering in like the real world, the real current season, Kyle Busch is yet to win a single race, at least at the time that I'm recording this video. Obviously, who knows? Maybe he'll win by the time this is uploaded. But Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, you know, probably the second favorite, so that makes sense. But let's go ahead and get into the race. Okay, so yet again, somebody ahead of us has been really naughty and been disqualified. Don't know who it was, but they're starting at the back of the pack now. We're probably going to see them. If there was somebody that was actually relevant, they're probably just going to go flying past us at some point, I'm sure. But going through the gears, 26 lap race, only 22 laps of fuel. Okay, we're going to go back to having an actual pit stop required. All right, let's just try and keep everything clean. Let's try not to wreck like we did at Pocono, even though we got away with it, I will say. Still surprised we haven't DNF'd yet. I'm honestly, I kind of wish we did DNF in that, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but it was a bad race. And I feel like once we DNF once, or I mean, hopefully once we DNF once, we're not going to do it again. But I feel like there's no way I'm going to make it through the whole season without, you know, DNFing once, because all it takes is one minor, you know, slip up, and you just got to slightly tap the wall now, and it just leads to you instantly, you know, being out of the race. All right, well, Corey LaJoie kind of just shoved us out of the way there as, oh gosh, who are you? Ross Chastain is now shoving us full speed ahead into the corner. You know, okay, now it's actually in the corner too. I have no idea what he's trying to accomplish here. He has damaged my rear bumper. That is how violent that was. I have no idea where our arrow's at. 99%, we can live with that. We're not really making up any ground here, despite the fact that he's trying to turn us into a train. Okay. Corey LaJoie, I would appreciate not having a lift, because that's going to absolutely kill our momentum here. I feel like this, again, might be pretty similar to Pocono, where we just don't have the pace. I mean, it feels like we're just down in horsepower. I don't know if even changing a setup would do anything about that. Usually setups have always, you know, been primarily for, you know, handling in the NASCAR Heat games. As somebody, Daniel Suarez, trying to take off to Mars with how high up he's running on the track. Justin Haley has gotten around us cleanly. That's never a good sign. Oh, gosh. Well, I think we figured out who was encumbered during qualifying. It was a good old MTJ behind us with his adversity. Oh, gosh, he's trying to kill me. I don't appreciate that very much. He is all over our rear bumper. I think this is dangerous for me to try and stay ahead of him. But, hey, you know what? Okay, never mind. I don't have a choice now. He kind of just shoved me all the way up, though. Okay, he's not done. He just shoved me all the way up the track into the wall, and he still never let up. I'm just going to let him go. I feel like he's a bit upset, the fact that he was, you know, forced to start at the back of the pack, considering, I mean, he's another Joe Gibbs car, and 2 of his teammates are just duking it out for the championship. Although I say that, Clint Bowyer is actually leading the race. At this point, anybody winning that isn't Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch helps us to some degree. I don't think they're going to be much, you know, farther behind if Boyer's winning. But hey, who knows? At this point, we really just need anything to work in our favor. All right, we're going to try and make up some ground here. I think our tires are starting to wear a little bit. Really, once you get below like the 80 or 70% mark is when I feel like the more grip option really starts to come into play. And I think I might have just jinxed Clint Bowyer as well, because just like that, Denny Hamlin back to the lead. Justin Haley, thank you for holding up Truex. That being said, Truex is going to go flying by us immediately after, because that makes perfect sense, especially on a momentum-based racetrack like Michigan is. Nowadays, it makes no sense for him to be that slow in the middle of the corner and then suddenly gain all that speed, but I'm not going to judge the game, at least not in this video. I do plan on making a full review at some point. That's probably going to actually be uploaded maybe even before this video comes out, but probably not. Probably, you know, somewhat in the next week or so, I'll put that together. But really, I'm just going to be putting a video together of like all of my thoughts about the game, because I feel like a lot of us knew what we were getting into when this game came out. Also, I probably didn't need a lift there, but I did anyways. Just because, I mean, for the most part, this game is just a rehash of NASCAR Heat 4, which isn't, you know, a bad thing, because NASCAR Heat 4 wasn't a bad game. But it's a bad thing because then there's, you know, a harder argument to describe like why this game should exist. For which my biggest reasoning would honestly just be, you know, the custom season, like what we're doing right now, because that's not a thing you could do in the previous releases. All right, Truex is still trying to catch up to us. He kind of struggled with a bit of lap traffic, or I shouldn't say lap traffic, but slower traffic back there. I am lifting ever so slightly. I feel like maybe I should stop doing that. I feel like maybe if I just rim ride around the outside, we can probably get away with not doing that. All right, 15 laps left of fuel. We're definitely going to have to pit. There's a slow car in the backstretch. Hopefully he wrecks Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch. I don't judge. Either one's fine by me. So it doesn't appear to have happened. The slow car is still on the track. I think they're probably on the apron at this point. They're probably out of the race, whoever it was. They probably have a blown engine or something. Oh, gosh. And we're going to have a blown engine after we poke a hole in our radiator, thanks to Michael McDowell. Don't know who that is on pit road. Definitely a blown engine. It's not exactly easy to see. I want to say it was Timmy Hill, but I can't exactly tell from that far away. All right, we're still hitting, what is that, 198 going into the first corner. Considering the, you know, package these cars run nowadays, that's, you know, impressive. The car is starting to get a little bit loose on the exit of the corners, which, I mean, is just something that happens when the tires wear out like this. But it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, especially because this is Michigan. So, I mean, it's a very wide track for the most part, so you can kind of save yourself if you have to when you come out of the corner. All right, Ty Dillon, we're going to need to get around you here, buddy. There's another slow car on the apron here. I don't know if they came out of the pits or what. Actually, that might be what happened. It might not have been a blown engine. Is this Timmy Hill again, or is this Brendan Gaughan, actually? Did they blow a tire? Is that a thing you can do in this game? If you, you know, haven't run it down to 0%? I feel like you can't. But if you can, I feel like, you know, the AI probably could, just because for some reason the game treats AI mechanical failures completely different than they do for the human drivers. Okay, so it was Brendan Gaughan. Not exactly having the best race of his career at this point. But hopefully it doesn't hold us up too much here, since he is probably on fresher tires, I would assume. We're still trying to make our way up into the top 20. At this point, I don't know. Like, if we got really lucky, I feel like maybe we could even get a top 10 out of this race. But I say that looking at the bottom left of the screen at the minimap, I feel like the rest of the top 10 are basically right alongside Denny Hamlin in like a big train formation. Whereas, you know, 20th through 11th all seem to be strung out a little bit more, which is going to make that a little bit more difficult. But who knows, maybe we're going to be really fortunate here with the tire wear. There's now another car on pit road. I don't know if it's Brendan Gaughan again, but somebody I think is out of the race actually, because I don't think they're moving. As we're going to try and split, I believe, Ryan Preece and Austin Dillon. Okay, our car got a bit loose there on exit yet again. Completely fine. As long as there's no other cars around you, it's very easy to save. Ryan Preece just put some rocket fuel from Michael Waltrip Racing in his car. I have no idea where that came from. But, I mean, hey, he gained a 5th gear. Don't know how that happened. All right, we're up into the top 20. 19th place, right alongside Cole Custer, like always. It's kind of surprising. At this point, I feel like we're around Cole Custer so often that I'm surprised that he's not right alongside us in the points. Maybe it's just because at the earlier part of the season, we just had races that suited us better, so we actually had a chance to win. Cole Custer did win, though, to, you know, give him credit. Our car, once again, getting loose on the exit of 2. We're going to go alongside Cole Custer, probably into turns 3 and 4, and maybe not. You know what? I feel like that doesn't actually help us. I feel like having a caution here hurts us, if anything, because on a longer green flag run, we would have made up more time. That being said, how many laps are left? 13. We probably don't need to take left side tires. We got to do something. At this point in the season, we got to do something to try to make up some ground. I'm only going to take 2 tires. Yeah. Okay, we're going to need to take another can of fuel. This should be fine. Let's hope that this gets us some kind of track position, because otherwise this is not going to help us in the slightest. Wow, we actually lost 2 spots. Okay. I'm glad we, you know, hired Helen Keller to change our tires here. All right, well, we're starting alongside our teammate. I hope our teammate took just 2 tires, because otherwise I have absolutely no idea how we actually lost 2 spots out of that. Okay, I will say, actually, maybe we only lost spots because maybe some of the AI stayed out. I do see Brad Keselowski up there leading, so there's a good chance that maybe him and maybe even a few other cars actually just didn't pit, which seems... I don't know if you could do that. Could you have done that? I can't do the math anymore, obviously, but maybe you could have made the whole way without, you know, pitting if the caution came out like that. At this point, I don't know. We're just going to try and make up as much ground as we can, get alongside Christopher Bell. I will say, I mean, we're making up ground, at least so far, and we're already inside the top 20. Honestly, anything that's inside the top 10 at this point is, you know, good for us, considering how the last few races have gone. But we're going to need to figure out some better strategy in the future, I'm pretty sure. And Almirola sliding down to the bottom of the raceway, kind of cutting off our momentum. 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson, don't mind me if I come up and try and block you. Okay, I kind of got into the wall a bit, didn't intend to do that. But he's going to give us a bit of a shove. I think we try to go to the outside here. We don't actually have a choice because Jimmy kept pushing us. Our car does feel a bit tight. Which kind of makes sense considering, you know, it's unbalanced with the right sides being so much fresher than the left side. But I think we'll get away with that. I feel like Michigan, just because it is so wide and, you know, pretty forgiving when you start a slide here, you can kind of get away with an unbalanced car a bit more just because, you know, you're not as punished if you lose control for a brief moment. Also, Clinton Boyer, yet again, is in the lead. It looks like everybody else is kind of right on his tail. I see Denny Hamlin. I believe that's Denny Hamlin up in 3rd. Kyle Busch is not actually that far ahead of us. Can we at least make up ground on one of these guys? I feel like we've kind of stalled out here in 16th place. We've kind of just been following Almirola here for like 2 or 3 laps. But 6 laps to go. Can we make up something? At that point, I don't think the tires will be that worn yet for most people, so we're probably not going to be that much quicker than a lot of the other guys. But who knows? Maybe we can still salvage a top 10 out of this race. Maybe the caution actually helped us, which is kind of crazy to say, considering I feel like most of the time whenever we get a caution like that, it just hurts us, especially at Talladega, where I didn't know that if I had just not pit again, it would have counted really greatly in my favor. But, you know, that's just me not knowing the game mechanics. That's just me not trusting the game to actually, you know, react the way I would kind of expect, as Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick side by side for 13th place. We're only just now at 50% on the left front tire. Honestly, if this race had maybe another, you know, 5 laps or so, I feel like we'd actually be in a very good spot. I just don't think we're going to have quite enough time for the, you know, tire wear to really kick in and help us out here. But we are looking pretty sharp. We're looking at potentially at least a 12th place finish here if we can get past these 3 cars ahead of us. Chase, don't mind me, but I'm going to dive to your inside just because I have to, you know, not let up as much. Otherwise, we're going to lose all of our momentum. And in a track like this, that is very important. So you don't want to do that. All right, get back in line, Tyler Reddick, and keep chugging along. All right, dive it inside of Tyler Reddick. Matt Kenseth now ahead of us. Can we get to Kyle Busch? Better yet, can I get to Kyle Busch and wreck him? I'm not going to do that, but hey, wouldn't that be some kind of strategy? Get up to Kyle Busch as Tyler Reddick suddenly, you know, gains his 5th gear just like all the other AI. If I just get up to Kyle Busch and wreck him, I could suddenly gain like an extra 20 points on him. As Matt Kenseth also gains his 5th gear. I really don't know what it is. The AI have like some suction cup on like the front of their car, like some kind of vacuum, so that whenever they're behind you, they just immediately come up and shove you. I feel like it's because Draft Partners is turned on. Maybe I should turn that off because I feel like it's kind of dangerous when they ram into you like that in the, into the corner. But hey, you know what? Sometimes it helps us, and I feel like at the restrictor plates tracks, especially, it does help you because you can actually get a better, you know, draft from somebody. So coming to the white flag, we are less than a second behind Kyle Busch, and look at that, Chris Buescher, 10th place. Okay, don't know how you got up there, but I have no idea. I don't think we're going to get to Kyle Busch, unfortunately. Give us another lap, and I feel like we definitely would be guaranteed like a 10th place finish here. But if we're going to dive in, we do have to let off the gas just slightly because otherwise the car just drifts up the hill way too much. We really didn't gain enough time on Kyle Busch there. I feel like it's going to be just short. And unfortunately for us, Denny Hamlin has gotten back to the lead, and he does look to be relatively clear of everybody else. Clint Boyer, I will say, put up a very good fight, as did Brad Keselowski, actually, who was just leading probably like not even a lap ago. But Denny Hamlin going to come and win 2 races in a row, pick up his 4th race of the season. I feel like this is just a slap in the face. It was pretty even so far. And just like that, Denny Hamlin wants to come and dominate everything. But we're going to get a 12th place finish. I can't be too upset at that, honestly. Give us another 4 or 5 laps, we definitely would have gotten a top 10, maybe even, you know, a few more spots. It's definitely better than Pocono went, better than a lot of the most recent races have gone. But at this point, I really do feel like I need to change up some of the settings. So stay tuned for that. And I'll also be reading everybody's comments on suggestions for what I should do to at least try and make it a bit more, you know, competitive. Because struggling to get a top 10 isn't really going to put us in any good position to compete for even close to a potential championship. But we'll have to see. And then moving on to the full race results, you can see that Denny Hamlin does win the race over our best friend Brad, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, and then Alex Bowman in 5th place. And then moving on to the point standings, we are still in 7th place in the points. Unfortunately for us, we don't really make up any ground. We are also now, you know, 95 points behind Denny Hamlin. Not looking great, but also Denny Hamlin now 18 points ahead of Kyle Busch. Also now with 4 wins, he's really starting to put a statement together. Also, somehow, Ryan Newman standing strong up there in 3rd place. He's only 4 points ahead of Truex Jr. At this point, I'm not going to be surprised if the end of the season is just 3 Joe Gibbs racing cars in the top 3. But anyways, guys, that will wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And like I said before, leave a comment down below with any suggestions you would like to see about this series. Do you think I should change some of the settings? Do you think I should use some custom setups? Something like that, just because at this point, I do feel like it's kind of a null point. We're not really competing for the championship anymore, which, I mean, that is a thing that happens when you don't have the playoffs. Obviously, you know, if you're not good enough, you're not going to win. But just for the sake of like entertainment, I do think you guys would probably enjoy it a bit more if I was at least running for a top 10, top 5, like regularly, as opposed to like these last however many races where, you know, we finished 12th, 24th, 15th, 11th, 9th. Like, you know, it's been like 6 races or so since we've been in the top 10. So not exactly the most entertaining thing, but I hope you guys have enjoyed regardless. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.